Hello students, welcome to Legacy IS Academy. Today we are going to discuss about the recently released report of United Nations about the Taliban and what is the significance for India of this particular report. So the context in which we are discussing this particular issue is because recently a new report has been generated, or we can say published, by United Nations Security Council, and the report says that even now, as the Taliban have gained their stronghold and we can say controlling Afghanistan as of now, there are several foreign terrorist organizations that are continuously enjoying safe haven in the country. The report has been published by Analytical Support and Sanctions Monitoring Team of the UNSC. The financial constant and political pressure, as per the report, is believed to be the two important points, and it is due to these two important reasons that terrorist groups are currently in the consolidation mode, and report expect that at least till 2023 they are not very likely to launch any major attacks, at least outside Afghanistan. Now let us try to understand the more details of this particular report, but before that let us understand that what is the Analytical Support and Sanctions Monitoring Team of UNSC. So this team is very important because the report that this team publishes becomes a major basis or main basis on the basis of which we can say United Nations develop its Afghanistan policy, and this report also helps a lot in taking a decision by the United Nations Security Council's Sanctions Committee. Sanctions Committee role is to look into the situations prevailing in different countries of the world and then take actions whether the UN-led sanctions should be imposed upon that particular country or not. As of now, this is the 13th report of this particular team, and also to give you one extra information that currently the United Nations Security Council Sanctions Committee is being headed by India. All the 15 members of UNSC, 10 non-permanent and 5 permanent members are the member of this particular committee. However, one thing we have to keep in mind that whatever report has been published by this particular monitoring team, the report is lacking any kind of evidence because the team did not went to Afghanistan as the Taliban took power of the Afghanistan, and that is why the direct evidence gathering which was earlier present in the 12th report is not the case in this particular time. So the question comes that if the team did not go to Afghanistan to gather evidence, how did they publish report? From where have they got the information? So the answer is they have received information from a lot of other organizations that are currently active in Afghanistan. The organizations, for example, we have a lot of international and regional organizations that are working in case of human welfare, human development, as well as disaster management, providing relief, food relief. Apart from that, there are several private sector financial institutions working right now, and there are also United Nations member states who have their embassies, consulates that is functioning, and then there is United Nations assistance mission in Afghanistan. So by taking help of the reports of all these organizations and also having a talk and conversation with the members and representatives of this organization, the analytical team has reached on the conclusion of this particular report. So the question that we should be focusing upon, that as per this report, what are the threats as of now which India can or India should be aware about, that is or that can emanate from Afghanistan. So as per this report, there are two specific terror organizations, that is Jaish-e-Mohammed and Lashkar-e-Taiba. It is believed that overall these two organizations have 12 training camps that is running in Afghanistan, and these training camps are also getting a lot of support from the Taliban fighters. Apart from that, there are several terrorist organizations who want to launch attack on India. They have developed a very close links with the Taliban leadership. Not only that, there is an organization that is called as Al-Qaeda in the Indian Peninsula or Indian subcontinent. They have almost 180 to 400 fighters that are currently active in this region. So why should we worry about AQIS? The answer is because recently the main magazine of AQIS, that was called as Nawai Afghan Jihad. Now this magazine have changed their name to Nawai Gajwai Hind. So what does this hold? What is the significance that this hold? So since the magazine has been renamed, many experts believe that since the whole goal of capturing power in Afghanistan in Kabul has been achieved, now Al-Qaeda can focus, or Al-Qaeda wants to actually to refocus to the Indian Peninsula and especially to the India. So that is why we should be relatively slightly worried about that. Apart from that, there, as per this report, Taliban is also not coming up as or coming out as a cohesive organization. There are several internal tensions and conflict that is also going on. As of now, Taliban can be divided into two blocks. One block is led by hardliners, the other block is led by the moderates. So, what is the main difference between the hardline block and the moderate block? As per the report, it is believed that largely the difference is in terms of how Taliban should inculcate or cultivate relations with the foreign partners and how they should integrate with the international system. If you believe this report, it says that moderate bloc is trying to increase their partnership with the other foreign countries and also integrate the Talibani economy and Taliban and Afghanistan as a whole in the international system. However, hardliners do not care about this a lot. They are basically driven by the ideological motive. Apart from these two blocks, there is one other very important agency, that is the Haqqani Network, which is a terrorist organization. Haqqani Network largely operates in the areas that is close to the border of Pakistan and Afghanistan, and they lean toward these hardline blocks, but at the same time they says that they need to maintain a pragmatic approach rather than depending heavily on the ideology, so that the overall interest of the Afghanistan and Taliban can be ensured. Now, why do we have these kind of conflicts and what kind of other conflicts we are witnessing in Afghanistan? So, the main conflict that we are seeing is the conflict due to the ethnic diversity. What is the ethnic diversity in Afghanistan? So, as we can look from this particular map here, almost 42% of the Afghanistan is made up of Pashtun people. Apart from that, around 3% are Turkmen, 9% are Uzbek, then we have 2% Baloch, and then there are some other ethnic groups as well. So after the ascendancy of Taliban in power, even in that what we are seeing that the Talibani people or Talibani fighters that come from Kandahar region called as Kandahari or Durrani Taliban, their power and rank is in ascendancy in the governance. Apart from that, we also are seeing that largely it is the Pashtun people or the Pashtun leaders that are being favored over the non-Pashtun leaders. And this we can see in many areas where Taliban is ruling, the those areas where earlier the leadership was being led by Uzbek or Tajik or some other ethnic groups, that has been replaced, and now Pashtuns are heading everywhere, at least in the southern regions. So why this is happening? What we can understand that as long as the Taliban collectively were fighting the outsider force, and as long as they had the common goal of removing the foreign power from countries, all these groups were working together. But now, since that task has been achieved, and now Taliban is trying to gain a strong hold of the Afghanistan, disturbances or we can say internal diversity or internal problems started to arise, and it is very difficult to maintain this internal cohesion, especially by looking at this ethnic diversity of Afghanistan. Now, apart from these, there are some other terrorist groups that are very active in the Afghanistan. One of these major group is the Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan, which we have also discussed before. They are the largest terrorist organization currently operating in Afghanistan with overall manpower of 3,000 to 4,000. As discussed, they are largely operating near the area of Pakistan and Afghanistan. Apart from that, the second terrorist group is ISILK. That is, we can say, ISILK is most prominent Daesh affiliate. It originated somewhere in the Iraq and Levant region, and from there it has started to branch out. It is also commonly was known before as ISIS. That ISILK basically it stands for, we look at the full form, it is Islamic State in Iraq and Levant. The third major terrorist organization is well known Al-Qaeda. And Al-Qaeda, though it is not so much significant as of now in Afghanistan because they are lacking the finances, they are lacking the manpower, but anyway, they have placed their allegiance to the Hibatullah, who is the leader of Taliban, and have said that they will work together with Taliban to achieve their common goal. So these are the three major terrorist organizations as of now, which we should be concerned about, currently enjoying safe haven as well as kind of support in Afghanistan. So what can we say in the conclusion of this report? The conclusion, we can simply say that the presence of these terrorist groups obviously in the Afghanistan soil remains a matter of grave concern, not only for the neighboring countries but also for the international community as a whole. However, as per this report, as we discussed, neither ISILK nor the Al-Qaeda are believed to be capable of mounting any international attacks at least till 2023 due to again the political pressure as well as the financial difficulties. Now coming to the main topic, that what kind of relationship India is trying to develop with the Taliban. So recently, the first official Indian visit to Kabul has happened under the leadership of JP Singh, who is the Joint Secretary in the Ministry of External Affairs, looking into matters of Pakistan, Afghanistan, and Iran. And as per the statement given by the Afghanistan's Foreign Affairs Committee, Afghanistan's Foreign Ministry, they said that the talk was largely focused on the areas like developing diplomatic relationship between India and Afghanistan, bilateral trade, and humanitarian assistance. At the same time, Taliban also have thanked India for their recent humanitarian and health assistance. So, what is the magnitude of the humanitarian and health assistance India is providing to Afghanistan? So, as per the report given by the Ministry of External Affairs, almost 20,000 billion tons of wheat, 13 tons of medicine, and 500,000 doses of COVID vaccines and winter clothing have been provided to Afghanistan. Not only that, even 60 million doses of polio vaccines and 2 tons of other essential medicines has also been supplied very recently. And as per the India's, we can say India's stance, it believes that the historical and civilizational ties with Afghan people goes a long way back, and this should be the main basis on which India and Afghanistan should forge new ties. So what we can say in conclusion is that the visit to Kabul points to a wider acceptance of the view Indian establishment that Delhi needs to engage with the Taliban, because as of before Taliban came into power, India is like very can say very good relationship, a strong relationship with Afghanistan, and the both leadership of both countries have a kind of bonhomie, but that suddenly disrupted due to the upsurge of Taliban. However, the reality or the picture reality is that now Taliban actually is in control of Afghanistan, and any kind of relationship between India and Afghanistan cannot be developed without taking Taliban into account, without believing that Taliban is one of the actors that need to be engaged with. And that is why this meeting can also be considered as a precursor to India returning its mission to Kabul and liaising with the consular services. Not only that, Taliban itself has even invited India to again establish its diplomatic mission and the consular mission and help especially students and other Afghanistan citizens to take advantage of these. So that is all about this particular issue. I hope you understood about this. Thank you very much.